So recently a tweet came out about China crypto ratings that really caught my eye. Just taking a close look, you have Bitcoin pretty low, you have Verge on the list, and also some popular ones like Tron or EOS are completely missing. So a lot of questions came to mind when looking at this list, and basically just got me thinking, what the heck is going on? So I had to take a closer look, do some research, and compile it all into this video for you guys. In this video, I'm going to cover who was behind these ratings, what was their methodology and criteria, and also some of my specific thoughts on certain coin placements. All of that coming right up. So hi everybody, this is Kevin from BFB, and I want to welcome you to the third episode of Kevin Talks Crypto, where I share with you my thoughts into topics that I personally find interesting in the crypto space. And as always, if you could support me by smashing that like button and subscribing, I would greatly appreciate it. And so just taking a look at the rankings real quick, I put it on the slide for you to take a look at. You can feel free to pause it and take a closer look. As you can see, there's 3 different parts to each ranking: technology, application, and innovation. And they give scores to each coin and then kind of do a calculation to combine it all together into one aggregate score. And so just some things to really know quickly: you have Ethereum and Steam at the top, you have Neo close to the top, you have IOTA, Monero, Bitcoin pretty far down low, even have Verge on the list, and so on. I'm going to go into more detail about my thoughts on these placements later. But first, if you're wondering who did the rankings, it's the China Center for Information Industry Development, so CIID, and they're an institute that advises the Chinese government on tech policy. So they're part of the IT ministry in Beijing. One question that comes to mind is, does this signify a shifting attitude towards crypto in China? Because remember, in 2017, there were bans on ICOs, exchanges, and even restrictions of mining. And so does this constitute a pro-blockchain move? Definitely an interesting question to think about. And so in this snippet I got from an article, Eric Zhao, an engineer of the Chinese Academy of Sciences who operates the CN Ledger Twitter account, says that he believes this is a sign that officials are going to treat crypto projects more like a neutral endeavor and look at the technology behind it rather than just as a way to challenge the power and authority of banks and government. Definitely a very interesting take in my opinion, one that definitely has a lot of credibility. And so a lot of you must be thinking after looking at the list, where are some of your favorite coins, right? EOS and Tron. Definitely a good question. And the reason why they're not on the list is because to be considered for ranking, you need to fulfill 5 different criteria. 1, you have to have your own functioning main chain. 2, everyone has to be able to create a node. 3, you have to have an open block explorer with information of each block available for everyone to see. 4, you have to have open source code. And 5, you must have a project website and contact info for the team. So for this reason, some of our favorite coins and projects are excluded from consideration. So what about the methodology that we mentioned earlier? Well, first you have the technology, right? This is like the code base, how robust it is, how great the system is architected or designed via the code. Number 2 is applications. What can be built on top of this potential cryptocurrency project or platform? And 3 is just innovation. Like, is this a clone of another one with some slight tweaks, or is it brand new thinking and something that we've never seen before in the crypto space? And something else to note is that these rankings were built in mind for the target audiences of the government, enterprises, and research institutes, not necessarily retail investors. So some interesting choices I want to take a closer look at. Ethereum number 1, which I definitely agree with. If you haven't seen my other video I put out about why I think Ethereum is going to stay king, you should definitely take a look on my channel. But I'm really high on Ethereum and think it's rightfully number 1. But Bitcoin number 13 is super low. Bitcoin is the grandfather of them all, right? Like, it should definitely be higher. And one thing to note is that they don't take into account track record, because if you did, Bitcoin would dominate. But also it's kind of unfair to put Bitcoin that low because it's not only a currency, it can also be used as a smart contracts platform, even though it's not quite there yet in terms of the code and features that allow it to be one. Also, you have Steam very high too, which is quite interesting because it is a very robust blockchain that has a ton of transactions every day. Also, it has a lot of apps built on it, like DTube is a famous one, but it's not really a blockchain platform per se. So it's interesting that it's ranked so high above other ones like Bitcoin, for example. Moving on, you have Verge at 14. Like, what the heck are they thinking? Verge is a shitcoin, frankly speaking. No offense to all you guys who love Verge, but if you haven't been following the news, they've been having exploits. So their code base is crappy. Their team is incompetent. Like, I don't want to get too much flack for saying this, but it's true if you want to think critically. Monero's number 9, which is also interesting because you would think that the Chinese government doesn't like Monero, something that allows their citizens to skirt their monetary control, right? And also Bitcher is at number 12, which is another one by Dan Larimer, including Steam. So he says hello for building all of these with his DPoS and being a visionary in this field. For all you people who love EOS, this may be a vote of confidence. And so what about projects that we've forgotten lately because of all the new and shiny projects coming out? And that includes ones like Stratus, Waves, HShare, Arc, Decred, and SiaCoin. If you were around the crypto space over a year ago, these would have been the hot ones, but now they've kind of gone out of focus. But if you still like them, maybe it's a good opportunity to build up your portfolio because now it's under the radar these days, yet still promising if you agree with the analysis by this group. So are rankings useful in general? Well, if you guys remember the Weiss ratings, those were more for crypto traders, but they also had some really head scratchers, you know, like Bitcoin being super low as well, and not even including many of the more popular coins on the listing. I personally only look at these rankings out of curiosity, and maybe it may warrant a further look into some projects that were not previously on my radar, but ultimately it's just another opinion for me. I still frankly always want to beat down into people to do your own research, see what you think is important, and go from there in terms of evaluating coins and coming up with your own rankings. And so what are your thoughts on this? Do you think they're relatively accurate, or is it just like a monkey throwing darts blindly? And what does this mean in terms of the broader implications onto China's stance of crypto? Also, finally, if you didn't know, CIID will be putting out these ratings monthly, so will you be following them? And so thank you everybody for watching. I encourage you to go check out our other videos if you haven't already. But anyways, hope you have a great rest of your day. This is Kevin, and I'll see you next time.